like this, which, oh my god. Those of y'all who have watched my videos, how many times are you gonna watch me drop palettes? It's fine. Well, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So just look at me with this background, just like I have a studio or something. Today I am finally playing around with these e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow quads. I finally, like months later, I'm super late to the game, picked these up because I had $8 credit on the e.l.f. website in rewards, and these are $9, so I essentially paid $1 for them. I'm quite proud of it. So the shades I picked up are Cream and Sugar, Truffles, and Rosewater. So yeah, these are the only ones right now that I'm interested in getting because like I'm not gonna use the jalapeno shades a lot or some dusty looking cornflower blue. Yeah, but these are the ones. In this video, straight to the point, I'm gonna show y'all swatches of every shade in these 3 palettes, and then I'm also gonna show you some swatch comparisons because looking at the Cream and Sugar palette, I compare it a lot to the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette, so I wanted to see just how similar they were in swatches, so you'll see that. And then I also am comparing the Truffles palette to my other palettes that have a standout silver shimmer like this, which, oh my god. Is this not the most devastating thing you have ever seen? Oh, it's literally crumbling before my eyes. I'll fix that later. Anyways, I'm glad that this broke after I already filmed all this stuff, but I show you swatch comparisons with Truffles, comparing it to Sultry, which has this silver shimmer, as well as compare it to the Huda Beauty Smokey Obsessions palette, which pretty much is a dupe for the Sultry palette anyway. But if you have either of these palettes and are wondering how Truffles compares to it, then I'll show you that too. And then after showing you all the swatches, I'll do a demo with all 3 of these palettes just to show you how they perform on my eyes. So let's go into those swatches. First, I'm swatching the Cream and Sugar palette, and these don't have shade names, so I'm just gonna make up descriptions for what the shades look like to me. First, we have a matte cream beige, a pearly champagne metallic, a gold metallic, and a matte cocoa brown. The second palette I'm swatching is the Rosewater palette, and these shades have a light pink shimmer, a matte dusty mauve, a metallic rose, and a matte plum brown with gold glitters. And the third palette I swatched is the Truffles palette, and these shades include a taupe silver metallic, a matte camel brown, a matte chocolate, because I called the other one cocoa, so I'm gonna call this one chocolate, and a matte black. Also, here are the swatch comparisons of Cream and Sugar on top versus the Natasha Denona Mini Nude eyeshadow palette on the bottom. Here's a comparison of the e.l.f. Truffles on top versus the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette on the bottom, and Truffles on top versus the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette on the bottom. Those were all the swatches, and next we're going to go into the tutorials and demos for the different shade variations. First, I'll do a look with the Cream and Sugar. Secondly, I'll use Truffles, and thirdly, I'll use Rosewater. If this is your first time seeing me, I really hope that you will consider subscribing because this video took a lot of work. I had a casualty. It's fine. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. It really helps support me and it helps me out a lot. I have y'all nice and close for the eyeshadow demo. The first palette I'm gonna go in with today is Cream and Sugar, which I feel like is the most popular variation of this. And this first shade doesn't really look like it can be a transition for me. And that is like a skin tone shade for me, so I guess I'm just gonna set my eyes, which I usually don't do, but what can we do? So then, because this is just a setting tone for me, I'm gonna take a mix of the dark brown and this first shade and then see how that works. That's too dark, but I gotta even it out. Alright, so I just deposited that color and I'm just going to take a clean brush and blend it out because that deep brown added a lot more depth than I wanted it to. And just what was left on that first brush, I'm just going to get the rest of the powder off on my lower lash line. Now for the shimmers, I'm going to take this gold shade and first run it all over my lid. Now I'm going to take the light champagne shimmer to the center of my lids and my inner corners just to add a little bit of light to the look right there, and then blend it out. The gold all by itself was a little bit plain. Wow, that's a really punchy inner corner. Okay, the inner corner, if you like a strong inner corner highlight, this one's really good. Same shade I used as an inner corner, halfway across my lower lash line. And I think it just makes my eyes look a lot more open and awake and cute. Lastly, let's take this deep brown on a flat brush like this and smudge some of that along my lash line. As you may have already seen in the swatches, the deep mattes are not the smoothest, but they're workable. Partly line my lower lash line with this same dark brown. Alright, I just popped on some mascara and this is my first eye look using the Cream and Sugar palette. When I do functionally use this in real life, I'll probably just throw a bronzer in my crease or something before going in with the shimmers, but the shimmers are very nice. That's what everyone's been saying about this palette, and I do find it to be true. I find the darker mattes to be a little bit not as good. Like, I had to dip back a lot when I was lining my eyes with that dark brown. So let's see how the other palettes perform. The next palette I'm using is Truffles, which has this silver shimmer, and it actually has transition tones for me to work with today. So let me go in with just this first tan shade for transition and set that as a base. So there's my transition. Then I'm gonna take a little bit, pinch the brush and run it across my lower lash line. I feel like people are thinking that I should use a specific brush for this, but Ally Glines pinches it, so. And then I just kind of extend or scoot the brush in the direction of my lower lash line to kind of shape that base a little bit more. Then I'll deepen the outer V with this darker brown. These are not gonna be like revolutionary looks, y'all. I'm just pretty much showing y'all how the palettes work on my eyes. I'm gonna take that deeper brown and add just a little bit of dimension. And I just decided to put a little bit of that darker brown on the inner part of my lid too, to not just add depth to this side, but also on the inside. And we're gonna have this really blended, subtle, everyday halo eye effect. All right, so there is the base. I'm going to take this silver shadow that is metallic on my finger and put that right in the middle of the lid. Okay, now that I've just placed the color, I'm gonna take that same brush that I used with the brown, no extra product, but just kind of fluff that shimmer into the matte and just let those two colors marry. I lost a little bit of that shine, so I'm gonna pop a little bit more right in the center on both sides. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to take that dark brown, add a little more definition down here. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of that shimmer and pop it in the middle of my lower lash line as well to mimic the top. Then just take that black on my flat shader brush and do a black shadow eyeliner with that. And I'm not really gonna line my lower lash line. I'm just taking what little is left on the brush and just kind of nudging it on the corner. This is definitely not the best matte black. It's a little dry. It's actually pretty dry. I much prefer the blacks that are in the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry and the Huda Beauty Smokey Obsessions palettes. Unfortunately, both of those are discontinued. I'm not gonna have an inner corner highlight for this look because this palette doesn't have one really, so I'm just gonna let it chill like this. And I just popped on some mascara. I actually do like this palette better than the Cream and Sugar so far, just because it's more complete, and I think that this is just more interesting in general. Now let's go on to the last palette, which is Rosewater. This last palette, Rosewater, is the one that I am most excited and most interested to try. Mostly it's this matte, this transition matte, that makes me nervous because it looks very mauve gray, like very cool tone. And then also this plummy brown, I am scared that it's going to be hard to work with. So let's see how this one works. Let's first take this transition shade and set that as my base and transition creased color. This really sandy purple is not my favorite kind of base color. Maybe I just need to warm myself up to purples more. You know, objectively, I'm sure this looks fine. I'm sure it looks very lovely. It might just be my own bias against this kind of tone. Let me know in the comments if you feel a similar way about this shade or if it's all in my head. Between these two shimmers, I just like this one, how this one looks so much more, but I will use all the shades in this palette today just for the sake of showing y'all. So I'm gonna take this deeper pink and put that all over the lid. These like very middle depth shimmer shades are not super exciting to me. I feel like I always need to pop something lighter in the center of the lid, otherwise it looks fairly flat even though it's a shimmer. So I'm going to do that. I'm gonna take this lighter shimmer here and pop that in the center of the lid. And there we go, that looks like what I want that first shimmer to look like how I want it to catch more light at the like the peak of the curve of my eye. I keep looking at my eyes now with that transition tone. It's really not bad. Okay, wow, I think I like it. Now I'm gonna add shape to my eye, take a dusting of this dark plum and focus that mostly on the outer corner, but drag that all the way in. So mostly focusing it out here and then kind of just fluffing it all across to define my eye. Some of y'all might think it's kind of weird that I do this because what was the point of me putting the shimmers on the lid anyway? They still peep through a little bit. I think doing a step like this really pulls out the shape of my eye in a way that I like. So do that again on the other side, focus on the outer corner, fluff that towards the inner corner. This purple is not giving me trouble. Okay, wow, this plum is doing a lot better than I thought. This is not completely matte. It does have a little bit of like gold sparkles running through it. It helps kind of loosen it up and make it easier to use. I like that, yeah. And then I'm gonna just drag a little bit of this plum on my lower lash line, on the outer half of my eye, and then bring it into my pupil. And then on the other side, dude, okay, I'm gonna take this light pink shimmer and pop that on the inner corner. And then on a flat brush, I'm gonna take that same shade and have it meet at the center of my eye. Wow, I like that. These palettes, overall, the shimmers work great. That was not something that I was questioning. I was really more interested to see how the mattes would be. And the dark mattes are fair. They work, but I feel like it's just not gonna be as quick to get the look you want as maybe with other high-end palettes. You're gonna have to dip in a lot more to get the intensity or the opaqueness that maybe you would expect using a different palette. But all in all, I mean, I'm not gonna complain really because these are $3 each. And if one of these color schemes speaks to you, it's a way to try out new colors as well without breaking the bank. Out of the three, my least favorite, I'm gonna say, is the Cream and Sugar. Not that it's bad, but the other two surprised me more, or I think they just brought something else to the table that this one, which is very basic, didn't really do. I feel like people have been saying that these compare to Natasha Denona shadows. I wouldn't say that per se, but the shimmers are very soft and creamy. As you can tell, like the shimmers are very soft. Today, for the top winner, I'm actually gonna give it to Rosewater, which I was expecting it to be the worst, like number 3, but because it surprised me, I'm gonna give it the top spot. And Truffles, I think, is just a very dependable. This one you can actually make a full look out of, which is also a reason why I put Cream and Sugar at the bottom. And I really like taupe silver shimmer because I think it's interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell because apparently my videos don't show up to everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope I entertained you for a few minutes of your day, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember that y'all are my treasure. Find the beauty in every day, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. I'll see you in my next videos. Bye!